Bobbie, hi, Jim Delapine here. I wanted to give you some additional information and suggestions regarding your Grace character. So let me hit Control 0 and fit the character in the file in the window. And let me hide the guides by hitting Control H. And interesting background here. I like it. Wait a second here. No, here. Okay. Um, so let's see here. It looks a little. Let me just bring this up here and see what it looks like. Okay. Yeah, I tend to like it better here. What I'm offering you now are suggestions, okay? You've done a great job. You've addressed every single requirement. So everything from here on are suggestions, okay? Just for information, for your knowledge. I think that you're a rock star when it comes to this, and you seem to you get everything. You may even have had previous experience. I don't know, but I prefer this. The reason you may have put this under here is so that the shadow would be more visible, perhaps. But let me show you a way you can make this even the shadow work a little better. All right, usually a shadow is darkest at the point that the subject or object touches something, and then it kind of dissipates as it falls away. So I'll show you how we can work with that. So you've got a shadow here, okay? So what I'm going to do is duplicate the shadow layer by hitting Control J. Okay, so now it darkens it, even though it was at 24% opacity. Figure now 24% opacity on top of each other makes it darker. It's not 24% opacity or transparency anymore. But what we can do is gradate it so that this darkness appears closer to the subject and then falls away and goes back to the original 24% as it gets up here. So we can accomplish that using a layer mask. So if I select a layer mask icon for that copy layer, go to my gradient tool, and then make sure for the drop-down menu it goes from black to white, and make sure that black and white is your foreground colors here, because that's what the gradation is dependent on. Okay, so it's just remembering that the black part of the gradation will mask out the subject. Okay, and it starts where you click and drag. Okay, so if I start here, if I click, I'm gonna hold down my cursor right here and drag down towards maybe 3/4 of the way, and then let go. Okay, so you can see from the icon here that it's being masked out at the top area here. Okay, so now based on that, I would go a little further. I would click and drag again and go right down to the source here. All right, so now it's more graded. Why? Yeah, it should be more. But perhaps I could fool around with the opacity here. Yeah, let's see here. I'm not getting the result I want for some strange reason here. Let me just pause this. Okay, so I've done a few things while I've paused here, and I think the best, every situation is so different, and it's really an exploration of Photoshop. And so here's what I've come up with. So you have this shadow here in the correct blending mode. You have it lowered to 24% opacity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control J to duplicate it. What happened to my cursor here? Okay, Control J. What's going on here? My Photoshop is acting up. Nothing's working. Let me pause this again. Okay, all of a sudden it worked. I don't know. My software is hesitating here. Okay, so I duplicated the layer by hitting Control J, and then what I'll do is I'll merge them together by hitting Control E. What's going on here? Yeah, things are acting slow here. My internet connection is perfect. Is really fast, so I'll have to look into that. I have tech support with Best Buy with the Geek Squad, and their service contract. So it's great. I can call them up and they can fix everything online. What is going on here? Okay, it worked. It finally worked. But my software is hesitating. But it did merge down, and it's just taking much too long for each command, and I don't. That frustrates me. So now what I can do is this: apply the layer mask to that, and of course now that's going to take a while. And now I'll go to my gradients tool, and I'm going to. I'm making my foreground color gray instead of black. Okay. The reason I'm doing that is that where the gray is, it allows a portion to be not totally masked out. Okay. It's based on a percentage of black. Okay. So I would say maybe this is 80% black, this gray, and I'm just taking a guesstimated number here. But it means when I click up here and drag, at the point where I'm clicking, 80% of that will be masked out. And then as I drag down, it becomes the white portion, which nothing will be masked out. So this should stay dark, and this will be masked out, not fully. So my icon is, all right, I have to wait again. Okay, so I'm going to click and drag here, down here. And what is going on here? It seems like every time I pause the video, it works. This program is interfering with it. That's what's going on here. Okay, so now clicking and dragging. Okay, now it's working. All right, so up here, that origin point, that will be approximately 80% based on black. Okay, so 80% will be masked out, and as I go down here, nothing will be affected near where the shadow touches the quote-unquote feet. All right, so you get something like that. So that's really a truer shadow, although this is a different situation. I can click and drag again. Because it's a wall, it's a flat surface. All right, so I'm just throwing that out there. Suggestions, you're doing a great job. And I'll stop there and maybe restart my computer to get this thing going correctly. Okay? All right, Bobbie, take care. Bye.